All right, everybody, I know it's a pre-recorded call. We're going to start getting everybody on here. Welcome to the Warrior Call. All right, Warriors, here we go. Get everybody in here. Hey, Warriors, how's everybody doing? Happy Friday Eve. I'm going to be muted as they come in. We got a big group coming in today. So I'm going to get everybody muted. I'm going to get a couple people as the co-host here. So let's see here. We got Thomas. There he is. Tom. Oh, let's get him rocking and rolling. Submit all. All right, Warriors, welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a really exciting call. We got an exciting guest today. We're going to continue to bring you guys exciting guests to help us move into this new world. All right, where is... So there's Tom right there. Boom. Tom, oh, I'll catch him. Boom. Tom, I'm going to make you a co-host. Make Tom Keller a co-host. Boom. There we go. All right, Warriors. So we're just going to wait a moment as everybody piles in here. I'm going to mute everybody, mute all the line, and then we'll get started about 10:04. And our special guest has about till 10:30. So I'm going to make my part very brief, which is very hard for me. I love to speak. But once I finish my part, I'm going to hand it over to our special guest. And I'm very, very honored to have this guest out here. Now I'll explain a little bit as I talk about my portfolio really quickly, but I think it's important that we give the guest most of the floor. And I'll just wait for more people to come on here and then we'll get started. Happy Friday Eve to everybody. All right. And if you're watching this in the future, so we're 1,200 Warriors strong all over the world now. So this will be sent out to you guys. If you do miss the call, you have to jump off. It's going to be sent out to you guys on direct message in our Mighty Networks. And so every single person will have access to this within our Mighty Networks. And we're going to have a shorter little conversation with him and for this one, but we're actually going to bring him on for more education. And you guys know me, I'm all about hedging against the US dollar and making an ironclad portfolio around myself as I move from crypto into precious metals, begin moving into MPI to hedge against the 401k. And so my goal is to get as far away from the US dollar as humanly possible. Now that's my paradigm. I'm not asking you to do anything. All I'm telling you is, hey, here's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just being honest and open based on my banking knowledge, 12 years in banking, becoming a vice president of the bank and understanding the banking at a very, very deep level. And knowing that I had to leave and create a whole new paradigm and help people create freedom. So, all right, so we got a good amount of people on. Out of due respect of the guest, I want to go ahead and get it started. Now we'll have a bunch of people piling on, but give me 1 second. So I'm going to make Heidi a co-host here. Boom, there's Selman's right next to her, so perfect. Selman, I love your background, looks awesome. Make co-host, boom, okay, we got, and then after, I'm gonna do my quick little speech, I'm gonna kick it over to our special guest, and then I'm gonna kick it over to Selman. And what we'll be doing too as well, we're gonna be enhancing our Discord, and so we're not gonna be doing questions on this call, there's just too many people, and so it'll get a little convoluted. So what I'm gonna do is take the crypto questions that were sent to me, there was a bunch, I'm gonna create a video, and I'm gonna send all the answers to that, just to keep it a little bit more streamlined on this call. Then Selman is gonna help me set up a more, engaging crypto Discord. And so we can go out there and just have conversations. So we'll jump on and we'll be able to just ask questions and have open dialogue. But these calls are going to be more structured using a PowerPoint, presenting to you guys information. And that way people can take notes. And this will be not an open dialogue, just so you guys know. So we'll just make it a little bit easier and more functional for people. All right, so I got Heidi, can you do the invites in? Or the... Okay, perfect. Awesome. We're good to go. All right, Warriors. So we're going to go ahead and get it kicked off. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. Now, remember, I repeat the same things over and over again because what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And based on your actions and behaviors and your thoughts, you have your current reality right in front of you. And the only way to change your current reality is to change your thoughts. And so that's why we're bringing on different people. I know it's exciting to listen to me on a daily basis, but I want to bring people from all over the world that are making an impact in economics around the world. And so my biggest thing, and this is not trying to sell you a paradigm, and I always tell you, I'm not your coach, I'm not your leader. Don't leave and listen to a word I say. What I'm working to do is to teach you how to fish. When you give a man or woman a fish, they eat for one day. If you give them a fishing pole, they eat for a lifetime. As my boy William says, if you teach them how to farm, they will feed a nation. And so that's the whole goal of the Warrior Academy. I've never claimed to be a perfect academy, but what we are good at is bringing people that are the best in their industry and bringing them together so you can make an informed decision. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with with you guys. I'm going to mute everybody really quickly. And then when our guests come on, we'll hand it over to them. And so I'm going to share my screen really quickly. I'm going to go over my portfolio in rocket speed because our guest has to be off at in a half an hour. So I want to go through this really, really fast, and then I'll kick it over to our guest. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to go over this really quickly. Right here. All right, Warriors. So the good thing is there hasn't been a lot of change in my portfolio overall. I'm staying pretty stagnant with my portfolio. I'm just stacking my bags. So you guys know the crypto market cycle, or excuse me, the psychology of a market. I think we're heading into thrill now, from belief into thrill, and then we're going to head into euphoria on the back end of this year. And I'll explain that in another video. Okay, so here's my portfolio. This is exactly what I have. I've been stacking CRO like crazy though. I have a really, really, really bullish feeling about CRO. I've been stacking CRO and VET. XRP, XLM, I'm long-term holding right now. I'm just holding tight, hodling to those. VeChain, I'm stacking more in CRO. So you guys can see this portfolio in the Academy under courses. You'll be able to see my portfolio exactly. Here's a list of cryptos. This is also in the courses where you look for my portfolio. You'll see all this here. I show you guys everything I'm doing. I'm going to move quicker, so I want to get to our guest. Here's my stock portfolio. You guys see ESA. ESA has not IPO'd yet. Okay, and then I'm really excited to have our special guest on. So I am moving into, when I'm doing my very strict exit strategy, as I pull my targets, I'm pulling out, I'm going to be going silver, staking until I get into real estate and MPI. Okay, so you guys can see my exit strategy, my exit targets in the actual Academy under courses. And then if we go right here, where I'm going to give a quick intro and then head it over to him. So I'm excited to bring, so I want to share my knowing of them. So I've been watching Lynette Zhang for a long time on YouTube. So Lynette Zhang's been in the industry for like 25 years. She is remarkable at explaining precious metals and the economy. And I'm really, really honored to have one of her amazing teammates on from IMT. I'm very honored to have them on from IMT. But their mission at the IMT family is here to educate and assist you in mitigating long-term financial risks so you can move confidently through any economy. They uncover hidden truths which underlie complex financial economic systems. This allows you to make highly educated choices which empower. The word freedom is what stuck out to me, and legacy. Is that not what we talk about on a daily basis? The uncommon 1% creating freedom. I don't have my uncommon 1% shirt on. So we are all about freedom here. That's what really stuck out to me in IMT trading. So it's very honored to have Tom Keller on here. Tom has been with IMT trading for 5 years. IMT is a full service metal firm. IMT works with physical, tangible products. So that's what I wanted, was tangible products. And working with Tom, he was able to educate me. He didn't tell me what to do. He educated me and guided me, just like we do in the Warrior Academy. It's like, here's the things that I know, and I'm just going to guide you, and then you make your decision. So IMT has a local office here in Arizona, which was really cool. I didn't even know they had a local office until I called, but 99% of the interactions are over by phone. They only deliver in the US. So this is the key. We have a lot of people internationally all over the world, and I'll let him speak about that. But they only deliver in the US. He's a senior analyst consultant. He helps clients to develop strategies to protect wealth, to help with small first-time purchases, as well as create relationships with clients to help them understand how precious metals. And so that's the type of relationship I am developing with Tom Keller. And so without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Tom. And Tom, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and the floor is yours.
The floor is mine. I think the floor is all of ours. I'm really excited to be here. We kind of recently just met, and first of all, John, unmute yourself here.
Yep.
How was the fast?
Oh man, it's the second one I've done, the 3-day. It was spiritual, man. It was beautiful. It was a little hard the second day. But yesterday was very spiritual, very enlightening, a lot of downloads. I feel fantastic. I ate too much, of course, last night, but I feel great. I had a really good workout this morning, but I recommend everybody at some point in their life do a 3-day fast. But it was, I feel amazing today.
Wow. That to me, that sounds brutal.
It was
3 days, I think my fasting lately has been just because, just like in your guys' world and crypto, our business is just crazy right now, so people are calling it all day long, long hours, working late at night. Sometimes I'll have my lunch sitting in the microwave. I'll get done with my day and I realize, wait a minute, my lunch is sitting right there in the microwave. So That's just our world right now, but yeah, we're really busy. And, I think the thing that I'm most excited about is our commonality here, our common ground, because I think that you guys are really looking into the decentralized world and getting out of the banking system, getting out of this paradigm that we've been stuck in for so long. And there's just no value left in our dollar anymore. The only thing that's left is a little bit of confidence. And even that's eroding away. And, John, you being in banking, you had that epiphany, and that realization that this is, it's kind of just a bunch of BS, and so ever since 1971, our dollar purchasing power continues to come down, and I'm sure that you guys are familiar with the purchasing power chart, but the purchasing power chart basically shows us that we've got about as of 2 days ago, they just updated it. It's 3.87 cents left out of the dollar. But it's kind of funny because when you pull open the chart, it's on a scale of 1,000. So sometimes clients, they look at that and they say, wow, there's 38 cents left. I'm like, no, there's not. There's 3.8 cents left. And a couple of days ago, it just went down a little bit more. So as that erodes, and we really haven't felt the impact of all the money printing, especially in the last year. When you're looking at about 36% of all the dollars floating around the planet printed in the last year, if that doesn't concern somebody, they don't understand money. And I kind of liken it to going to Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks, by the way. I make my own coffee at home here, but I like some fresh beans and what have you. But it'd be kind of like going to Starbucks and getting your coffee and, driving away. And then you take a sip and you're like, wait a minute, something's wrong, and you go back to Starbucks and say, hey, what happened? What happened to my coffee? And they just said, well, we just added, it's the same coffee you drink every day. We just added 36% more water to it. And that's essentially what they're doing with our currency, and so as we move away, you guys are looking to move away out of the dollar, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay. I like our common ground. My mentor told me not to get into crypto. I still got into crypto. So I do have a position in crypto. I'm a little bit more hard asset oriented, but I do believe in decentralization and taking the power away from the banking system. And I think that more than anything, we vote with our currency, the way that we spend money. That's how we vote. And it's like, what are you confident in? I really like the fact that you guys especially are moving away from this paradigm. And I always say, you follow where your conviction is. Okay. So my conviction, I saw this movie, just going back a little ways. I saw this movie called The Big Short. I can see you guys. How many saw the movie The Big Short? Awesome. Great movie. That movie right there, I had 3 buddies and a brother all talk to me, and they tried to tell me how the Fed worked, why I needed to be in precious metals. This is going back about 10 years, and I totally blew them off. I saw that movie and it totally rocked my world, because I was in the real estate market in 2008 and I just got slaughtered, but I had no clue what was going on. When I saw that movie, it really opened my eyes. And then I started to dive down the rabbit hole. So I started to move into metals. John talks about Lynette Zhang. I actually serendipitously ended up at ITM trading. I'll tell you that story another time. We have a little bit more time. But when I got there, I was really preparing for another market crash. I was not preparing for a currency reset. So how many people have been hearing that word, currency reset? By the way, Jess, I think that's really awesome. You're laying down, you're laying down there right under the Golden Gate Bridge. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm lying. That's so funny.
All right. So how many people have been hearing that word tossed around a lot lately as far as reset? Yep. Okay. So I used to think, possibly a reset would be we move into a digital currency. The impression that some people have, not most of my clients, but some people out there, they think that they move into this new digital currency, and let's say you have $10,000 in the bank, you move into this new digital currency. Now you have 10,000 of the new currency. And that's not how a reset works. A reset is a devaluation of the currency. And the whole thing that we're seeing here is that the confidence in the dollar is eroding very quickly, like I said, but we are going to go into a reset. Now, I don't know how long. I used to think, because with my clients, I always tell them, whatever you put into precious metals, pretend you're not going to use it for 5 years. And the reason why I say 5 years, to me, that's long term. And whatever I'm putting in precious metals, I don't want to have to use it anytime soon. Okay. So I'm still in dollars. I mean, when I go to the grocery store, what am I spending? I'm spending dollars. All right. I'm not spending Bitcoin, and nor would I want to spend Bitcoin on groceries and what have you. I'm spending dollars, but over time, I'm getting less and less and less. One of my clients, he's in construction, and he was telling me the other day that his lumber is 3 times where it was a year ago. 3 times. Imagine that. Okay. So when you print money like this, and you guys have probably seen that chart, the money print, the M1 money supply, go check that out. The M1 money supply has just gone like this, right? And you cannot do that without having an impact on us, the citizens. We are going to pay for it. We just have not felt it. It's just like a seed. You drop a seed in the ground, it doesn't immediately pop up. The actions that they have taken are going to impact us. And so it's all, whether you're buying lumber or whether you're buying bread at the store, it's going to impact you. Now, if we look at what happened in hyperinflation, for instance, like in Germany, in Germany, we had, there's good data on Germany, especially, but you look at 1919, the loaf of bread's about $1.50. Okay. It goes up about $1 the next year. The following year goes up to about $3. And then about 6 months later, it's $1,200 marks. I'm sorry, 1,200 marks. Okay. So you see this, the price of food is just skyrocketing, right? And then you see what happens with gold and silver. So this is kind of interesting. So a lot of people come to me and they ask, what should I invest in, gold or silver? And whenever I hear that, I realize that, wait a minute, they're missing something. And that's okay, because, it took me a while to really get this. I had to immerse myself in this. But my gold has a job that my silver cannot do. And my silver can do what my gold cannot do. If I were to go into a grocery store and I needed to go to the grocery store and I needed to buy bread and eggs and staple items, I'm going to be using or cashing in my silver to use that towards that. Now that may sound far-fetched, but if you go to Venezuela, I have a client who's one of his best friends owns a farm in Venezuela. And he said that they would rather take your silver than your bolivar, and even more so than the dollar. Okay. Now, if a third world country can take silver at the grocery store, I bet you we can do it. It's not that hard. Silver testers are easy to come by. They can weigh it and they can give you credit at the store. Okay. Now, again, that may sound far-fetched, but even if you don't believe that that's coming, I can tell you this, that the store of value that we have in gold and silver, we are buying it on sale. Okay. So it's kind of like if we were to look back at Bitcoin, for instance, okay, where Bitcoin's at right now, if all of us could go back to a year ago, all of us know, my God, yeah, we would go and buy a ton of it, right? We saw what happened to it this past year. We get to buy gold and silver on sale. All right. Now, I don't like doing a pitch, by the way. And the one thing that's kind of, and I'll be really honest with you guys. It's a little bit weird for me because I'm not really a pitch guy. I'm a conversation guy. I like to have conversations with people because I like to understand where they're at and see where they need the education, see where the missing parts are. Okay. But when I talk about the store of value with gold, gold is the primary currency precious metal. Silver is a secondary metal. So if we look at what happens in a reset, okay, like back in Germany, Germany, in fact, I used to have this hanging on my wall at the office, and now I work at home most of the time. But I was just checking out yesterday. I was looking at this again. If you were to buy gold in Germany back in 1919, it was 170 marks an ounce. Okay. By the end of hyperinflation, 1923, it was 87 trillion marks. Okay. Now, some people, again, we go back to that conversation of, do I buy gold? Do I buy silver? Well, I can tell you right now, if I were looking at silver as the investment, which I'm not, I'm looking at it like my spendable part of my portfolio. It gives me access, gives me spendability and barterability, just like last year, okay? A year ago, Costco's out of toilet paper, right? People are bartering with toilet paper, all right? Back in Greece, about 6 years ago, when they were going through their crisis, people were bartering, they were locked out of their bank accounts. They were limited as to how much they could pull out. So what did they do? They had to start bartering. They got to get their needs met. So they start to barter. Okay. And we look at what happened with the ratio. So beginning of hyperinflation in Germany, the ratio is 14-1. So that means that 14 ounces of silver equaled 1 ounce of gold. All right. By the end of hyperinflation, it was 160-1. But again, silver kept up with inflation. You were able to buy your bread and your staple items. And when we start to look at the functionality of precious metals and understand that, then we realize that we all need that silver. I believe, this is what I believe. Of course, I'm the gold and silver guy. What else am I going to say? I believe that we need silver. Okay. So when somebody's starting out, it is a no-brainer. If you got a few $1,000 and you're putting it into precious metals, you call me, it's a no-brainer. There's not a whole lot of strategy there. We're going to buy some silver. All right. Now, the gold, I look at the gold as being an asset that I will move into other assets in the future. So right now, we all know the stock market's way overvalued, real estate's way overvalued. But eventually what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put my money into gold because gold is severely undervalued. And when we have a little bit more time next time, we're going to talk a little bit more about how that happens. But under this current paradigm right now, the manipulation in the market, the COMEX futures, we are paying thousands an ounce less for gold. And we're paying hundreds an ounce less for silver right now because they're using paper contracts. All right. Now, the good news, there is some good news here. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But my gold, I will really be using to take that gold, that store of value, and I'll actually be getting out of some of my gold after the reset. Okay. And I'll be putting my gold into assets. I'm not going to be using my silver for assets. I think of it like this. So I'm a real estate guy. I'm out of the real estate market right now, but I was in the real estate market in the last crash. And yes, I got spanked. I got my what handed to me. And but what I realized is that there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Okay, so last time we saw foreclosures out the wazoo. And in a reset, people are not going to be able to hold on to their property. Okay. So I will literally be taking my gold, and it's possible I can turn it into currency, or I can turn it into literally offer an individual gold for their house, their property, whatever it might be. Because now real estate will plummet in a reset. People will not be able to hold on to their properties. They're not going to be able to keep up with their taxes on their properties. And that's really, I see the main function of my gold. Will I buy stocks again? I believe I will. I was a big technology guy. So that's really my background. I had technology background. I worked for AT&T back in the day, and this is before the '08 crash. Okay. I got into real estate, and I was in Southwest Florida. And at that time, the market was just going crazy. Now, one thing that I remember at the time is I thought everybody else is here. Everybody else is investing in real estate. So I knew that there was a bubble. I just thought that I could time that bubble. Okay. So one thing that I encourage everybody when they get into crypto, just to think about this, and John, you can talk a little bit more about this, but as you're looking at your off ramp, you don't want to wait for that blow off top. Honestly, you really want to wait and follow Coach, because he's going to lead you. He's going to be talking about, and I love that. By the way, Coach, you're showing your portfolio. That's the one thing that I've always done with clients is I will show them what I'm buying. Okay. I'm an open book. All right. Ultimately, I look at my clients as being the pilot. I'm a co-pilot, and I'm here to help them to get them to where they want to go. I'm kind of looking at your compass and saying, okay, where are you pointed? What direction do you want to go in? And I always look at it like this, that we all have some confidence still in the dollar. We do when we're still using dollars. But to the lack of my confidence in the dollar, that's what I want to move out. Okay, you guys are moving into crypto. I'm moving into metals and crypto. Okay, but I know that if I follow this thing, this is a cycle, right? And I don't want to wait until the last second. All right, I would rather give up half of the hot dog, okay, and take my profits and take that and put that into more metals, rather than try to end it at that last bite of the hot dog, So I just say with all my clients, and I'm not the crypto guy. I think you guys need to listen to Coach because he's your crypto guy. But I think that from the standpoint of, what do you do with your money as you're making the money? And I think that it all boils down to, hey, this is a store of value, and it is completely outside the financial system. It's completely off the radar. If we look at what's going on right now, I want to be off the radar. Everything is all about control. They want to control everything. They want to see everything. Okay. So my whole thing is I want to take some of this funny money that they're giving us. Okay. Monopoly money. It might as well be pink and yellow and whatever. And I want to convert that into something that's real. Okay. Because undervalued asset right now, gold futures contracts, okay, are leveraged over 200 times the physical. Okay. So imagine that. All right. I look at it kind of because I was a real estate guy. Let's say you had a piece of real estate and you wanted to leverage that real estate. You could, let's say years ago, before the internet and all of that, and you wanted to sell it to 10 people, 20 people, let's say 20 people overseas. And all 20 people think that they own that asset because they have a piece of paper that says that they own that asset, but they're not coming over here to take possession of the asset. Okay. We know what would happen to you if you try to do that, but we don't get to do something like that. We're not going to leverage something like that. So what we want to think about is, where are we at in this thing? So I look at right now, the manipulated price of gold. They want to keep it suppressed because a rise in gold prices are going to indicate a failing currency. All right. Because still to this day, the fiat currencies are valued against gold to this very day. All right. So the good news is I'm buying an undervalued asset, extremely undervalued. Okay. And so I use this factor at least 6 to 7 times where it's at right now, if we were to go into a reset today. All right. Now it could be much higher. The debt clock is showing way higher than that. So there is an opportunity here. And I think that the opportunity is going to be around. I think that the opportunity is still going to be here after this cycle is over. So, but I would encourage everybody to, start to get on that path, start to think about, hey, how much do I want off the radar? How much do I want off the radar? How much can I put aside, and silver's a great place to start. And Coach and I have talked about this. Silver's great because first of all, it's lower hanging fruit. People can get into it. But if all, when we all first started to, let's say when we all moved out on our own for the first time, we were more concerned about funding our checking account than we were our savings account. So you can kind of liken the gold to being the savings account and the silver being the checking account. All right. If we needed to use the silver's there. It's a store of value that is always kept up with hyperinflation. All right. So my time is coming to a close, but John, I want you to come out here.
Yep.
And actually, if there's anybody, I would love it. If anybody wants to raise their hand, if anybody has a quick question here or two, raise your hand. I'd love to see what I could do to answer. And then, like I said, hopefully Coach will bring me back. Jess at the Golden Gate.
Hi. Yeah. So you saying that silver is more liquid than gold?
Yeah. So think of it like this. They're both very liquid. So there is a pyramid. I call it the hyperinflation pyramid. It's an inverse pyramid and it shows all the assets. Okay. Now this was developed years ago, so crypto's not on there, but think of it like this. In this pyramid, it's going to show you the least liquid assets at the very top, hyperinflation, and the most liquid assets at the very bottom. Okay. So what do you guys think, or Jess, I'll just go ahead and ask you, what do you think is the most illiquid asset in hyperinflation?
I have no idea.
That's all right. Is it
a house? Is it a house? Home?
There you go.
Home is the most illiquid.
Rock and roll. That's right. Who said that? I'm trying to look around and.
It's Raj. It's Raj.
Hey Raj, I can't see you, but hi.
It's okay.
So you're exactly right. So real estate and small business are the hardest assets to get out of in hyperinflation because nobody's got the liquidity to buy the business or the house, the real estate. Okay. Banks have tightened up. They're not lending. So that's the problem. So that's why you see real estate prices come down in hyperinflation. So to answer your question, I really I would say that yes. So at the very bottom of that pyramid, Jess, is silver. And then the next one up is gold. Okay. Very good question. Anybody else?
Wait, where can we buy silver? Sorry, this is a silly question. Can I just go to the bank and get the silver? Or can I buy it at the stock market? I know there's like a silver index called SLV. Is that equal?
Yeah. So here's what I always tell everybody. I'm always going to tell you what I think. It may not always be what you want to hear. All right. So it is easy to just get on your trading account and just go ahead and buy some silver. Okay. But that's not silver. That's a paper contract. It's a paper asset, a dollar denominated asset. So you put in dollars, they're going to pay you back dollars or whatever currency we get reset into. Okay. So right now, Raj, you can't go to a bank and just buy some silver. The banks have really taken the silver out of the system. So dimes, quarters, and half dollars that were minted before 1965 were made with 90% silver. And they've done a good job. So the banks have done a good job taking that out of the system. I mean, you don't like when I was a kid and I go to the grocery store, or let's say we had a little market right down the street. I'd go buy candy. And we used to actually use silver dollars. God, I wish I had those silver dollars. So my grandparents would give us silver dollars as, hey, you're good. Here's a silver dollar. So that silver dollar is 0.77 ounces of silver. Okay. So yeah, the banks have taken that out. So you go to, there's lots of companies out there. Raj, where are you located?
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. Okay. Yeah. So there's lots of places in Toronto where you can go buy silver. I would help you out if you're here in the United States, but we can't send to Canada, unfortunately. I have time for one more. Anybody else want to raise their hand?
Hey, Tom, this is John. Can you hear me?
Yeah, John.
Hey, Tom, question for you, and I'll be reaching out to you as well. So I definitely am very, in terms of gold and silver, my biggest concern is, you're right, it's definitely going to be a good protection. But in 1933 or so, the government confiscated gold, right? My fear is we go into gold, and the big boys, if they decide to confiscate, I heard that if you buy gold before 1933, I think it's called numismatic products. Maybe you can educate, but is that safer than buying today's gold? Can you help us understand a little bit about that, or how do we protect ourselves against confiscation, I guess?
Absolutely. Great question. Great question. So when they confiscated gold in 1933, what they were really doing, it's really hard to think about this, but it was very common for people to have gold. Okay. So people are using gold as money. So the bulk of the gold that was out there, unlike today, when I buy my gold, I put it in a nice safe place. I don't touch it. But what most people had back then, John, was the stuff that was being used in circulation. So it ended up in money bags and cash registers, and gold doesn't wear very well. Okay. So that's the bulk of the gold that was out there. So when they confiscated the gold, what are they going to take? They're going to take what most people have, right? So that's what they did. Now, there was a process here. I want to just go back to the 1920s, for instance. They were printing a lot of paper money, so they were getting people used to being in paper. More paper, more paper, more paper. We get to 1933, after the stock market crashed in 29. We go on the Great Depression, and then in 1933, when they called gold in, what they did is they went after the monetary gold. All right. So the guy that wrote the executive order was a collector, and he was a collector of mint state rare gold coins. All the gold was pre-33 then, but he was a collector of mint state rare gold coins. So guess what kind of gold coins he says you get to keep, John?
Yeah, exactly. Everything pre the collectors.
There you
the
go.
Old stuff. Yep.
There you go. So it was the stuff that was in mint state rare condition. So what they did is they gave you a loophole, in other words. Okay. Now this is kind of I'm really glad you asked this question. About 5 years ago, it was right after I started ITM trading. By the way, Coach, I'm glad to see somebody else is dyslexic like me. It's actually ITM, not IMT. So anyway, the deal is that I'm talking to my dad about this confiscation, and I had never heard about it. And he said, "Oh yeah, I know about the confiscation." I said, "How?" And he said, "Well, your Grandpa Greg, was a guy that people turned their gold into at Cass Bank in St. Louis, Missouri." And talk about blowing my mind. And it probably sounds corny to you guys, but I guess to me, it's like cool as ever because here I'm in the gold business. So I kind of look at it like my Grandpa Greg was taking the gold from the people, and I'm getting the gold back in the hands of the people. So so it's kind of funny. So Grandpa Greg actually held gold at home. He had less than $100 worth, so he would not have been in trouble. So that was within his legal right. But he really couldn't do anything with it for 4 decades. So that's why I get what you're saying. So he couldn't do anything with his gold. He just had to hold on to it. Okay. Right. Until we went off the gold standard. And then there was no longer a conflict of interest. Okay. So there was a loophole in the system, and everything that I have. So it's kind of funny that you asked that. Everything that I have pre-1933.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's my question. Like, what should we be buying? I'll be reaching out to you. By the way, can we buy, we can buy from you and you just ship to us? Is that how it works in the US?
That's right. Awesome. Yeah. And I know it sounds crazy. Like, oh my God, they're going to send something that's worth that much.
I got a question real quick. If you got a moment.
Yeah. 1 second, Jared. So just to answer that question. Yeah. I mean, all the packages are insured. I think it's probably been about 3 years since I've had a client with a lost package, but of course that's why we put insurance on it and we replaced everything. But I'd probably say the last $25 to $30 million worth of metals that I have helped people acquire have been delivered, no problem. I mean, sometimes there've been, mistakes. They sent to the wrong city. There's some delay, but I mean, for the most part, we have to rely on the system a bit to get it out to you. What was that, Jared? Go ahead and give me that last question. I'm gonna have to book, guys.
Okay, so I'm completely new to silver and gold. So I was wondering if I was on the website, and if I'm correct, when we buy the bullets, those coins, the 1 ounce coins, and let's say theoretically, the dollar collapses. We're in a situation like in Venezuela where we buy stuff with silver coins. How will that be like if I buy like a bottle of Coca-Cola versus paying for like my gas tank? Is it gonna be all 1 ounce, like 1 ounce coins for a bottle of Coke, and then like 20 coins for like to fill up my tank?
Yeah, good question. So basically what you're asking is, am I literally going to use an ounce of silver and put it into the Coke machine? Probably not. You would probably be able to buy the Coke machine with your ounce of silver. Okay. So, so yeah, so you
like
may
like convenience stores and grocery stores.
That's a good point. So you may be taking the silver into a grocery store, and they test the silver, they weigh it, and then they give you credit in the grocery store. Okay, so that's why you do want to have increments less ounce. But if you're getting started right now, the 1 ounce is a great place to start. We've got a while to go. It's not like this is going to happen tomorrow. So the one thing that I always tell everybody, okay, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. All right. And just like with crypto, you got to be patient. You got to listen to coach. You got to, don't make rash decisions. At the same time, we don't have forever. Okay. Silver's pretty much a no brainer. You and me, and I'm like, dude, get your silver, get silver. You got a few $1,000, get some silver. You really, right now, I would say you can't go wrong with buying your silver. All right. So, well, guys, I really enjoyed the conversation, and thanks you guys for coming out to ask some questions. Coach, anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. And you guys can see where we're going with our company. The Warrior Academy is what I'm working to do is build an ironclad portfolio around myself and my family for generational wealth, hedging against the US dollar. And so I'll be working with Thomas. A lot of people have asked. I will actually put, I had Lynette Zhang's video or direct to their website in our academy. And so I'm going to put Thomas's information. Is that okay? Put your email in.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
So I'll be buying from Thomas every single month now, maybe weekly coming up very, very soon. Well, what I'm doing, guys, is as I pull profits, the key to all this is, like I said, don't take my advice for it. Learn the game, right? And so what I want to say is make sure you have an exit strategy. As he said, there's going to be a bubble. Crypto is going to skyrocket on the back end of this year, and what comes up must go down. And what happens is the whales are going to, once they see all the retail adoption coming in, they're going to pull the carpet from us, and we're eventually going to be the whales that are unfortunately, fortunately or fortunately pulling the carpet, and then we are going to buy the dips. Remember, you buy the fear, you buy the fear and you sell the euphoria. And so that's what I've been preaching with Thomas said. It was so cool to hear someone else say that. You can't wait for the top or wait for the bottom. You're never going to catch it. You have to fundamentally get in where you feel like you should get in. For example, silver feels right to me right now, and I'm gonna keep stacking that portfolio. And what I'm doing is I'm building a warrior type portfolio around my finances and avoiding the US dollar from what I know in banking. And so I just want to say thank you so much, Thomas. I know we're gonna have you on again. I hope.
Yeah, Coach. Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks. Appreciate it.
I know he's
Look forward to seeing you guys again.
All right, Warriors. So I'm going to head you over
Talk to you soon.
Selman. I want to say thank you to Selman so much. I had a cool little presentation for him. I call it Selman the Wizard of Crypto, but I want to send it over. He's actually going to talk to you guys a little bit about XRP, and then he's got some really cool stuff coming up on the Discord this evening. Selman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Coach. That was actually, Thomas is gone now, but that was very informative. Do we have like a LinkedIn or something? If you could ask him so that we can, connect to him on LinkedIn, maybe.
Yep, I'll get his profile right now, and then as soon as I get off of this, I'm going to build a little in the courses, under courses, I'm going to build gold and silver, and I'll put all his information in there.
Awesome, that's great. So there's one thing I want to share with you. I talked about this on Discord. We have these live sessions now. I'm almost live every day. Both Discords, especially the 3T one, like we're gonna make a very great design. Everything's gonna be categorized, no worries. We're gonna be using bots to make it very user friendly. This is going to happen. I'm working on it, and we have these live sessions. You can join us. I'm doing like XRP updates or just a general update of the total market cap, etc. So if you look at XRP right now, of course we had this huge pump recently, which is very great. And if you look at a shorter time frame, you can see literally we have a descending triangle, which is it really depends. So if you look at the 1 hour time frame, for example, we had these 3 flag formations. Usually the third one is the one where, you know, whenever you see a flag that's bullish, but when you see the third one, that's where you got to be cautious, because that might indicate that the price might drop this time, because the third flag formation is not as effective as the others. But this is crypto, as you know. Technical analysis is not, you know, working 100%. This is so volatile. But if you have, you know, right now we have that nice descending triangle. If you look at the short term, this might go, and we you know, that's my plan. If that goes up, the next target would be something like 40%. That would be like 270, I guess. So I need to check. I shared it on Discord. So probably the next target was, my friend shared it. It was at 250, 270, around that. But of course, the descending triangle is also bearish. So it might actually, it's a bearish sign. It might drop. If we don't drop below that one, that's a great sign. But if it drops, that's actually a great, you know, time to accumulate. The next, if we can hold this line here, this is a support level. If we can hold this, the next one will be down here at 150. But I don't think that we're going to see 150. The market is very bullish. But of course, if Bitcoin is not doing well, you can do anything. Everything's gonna dump. You know, that's the nature of crypto. But you know, as I mentioned, guys, every time, even in the coldest bear market, every time in around April and May, everything pumped. So you see all the cryptos. We saw that. I made it, like I talked about it on the Zoom call last week on Fridays. Definitely join us every Friday at what was it again, at 1 p.m. EST. You know, every time since 2011, we have information since 2011 provided, and since then everything pumped. Ethereum, Bitcoin, doesn't matter, everything pumped around April and May until June. Sometimes May was the end, sometimes June, mid-June or end of June. And this is something that I want to mention. Coach mentioned that, and this is scaring me. Thomas talked about that too. The timing, you can never, you know, predict or time the crash. It's impossible. But if you look at, I mean, there are 2 scenarios for me. Where is it now? It's gone. Oh yeah, here. So there are 2 scenarios for me. One is, and I mentioned that yesterday, one is we might see a huge pump, the all-time high for Bitcoin, and then, you know, it bounces back up again, and then we have, you know, this bear market. That might be one thing, and this is the 4-year cycle theory. But there is another one, and this is kind of scary. This is very scary, guys. I hope this doesn't happen. What if, let's say, this was the top, we thought this was the top, and everything's dumping, but all of a sudden there is a super cycle end of this year. This is also what some people believe might happen. We don't know. So that they shake out the retail investors. People think, okay, it's done, and then all of a sudden there's this huge boom. But this is going to scare me, because I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So we have this scenario, or another one. You know, Coinbase is so hyped right now. It made like over 200% or 300% yesterday, but at least 200, I know. But the thing is, my friends from the stock market, they said, hey, the listing of Coinbase is actually, you know, we thought of that. We discussed about that. It's basically opening the door for the mass adoption. People now, especially from the stock market, they know about crypto. They know the potential value. They see this is a very highly undervalued market. What if the future of, you know, of crypto, if you look at let's say if you look at the total market cap, you can see we are on this nice trend. It is always going up. We have the bear cycle, but it's always going up. So what if something like that happens where we don't see the bottom exactly, where it's always going to go up? Like we have these bear cycles, but the corrections are not as effective as in the previous bull cycles. So we might see huge corrections. Maybe it's it's going to be this in the stock market. Stock market is, they don't have big corrections. Actually, they're always going up, and this is something that might happen, the big mass adoption. So maybe a lot of people now think, okay, we came too late into this market, but definitely in 4 years we're going to become millionaires because we are smart now, we know when to invest. But what if everyone's expecting that, but everyone knows about the 4 year cycle now? What if this doesn't happen? Because I always tell you, and I don't know, oh, here's my book. I want to show you this. This is a German version. I just got it. But Robert Schiller is a Nobel Prize winner from Yale University. And this is called Irrational Exuberance. Definitely, I want to deep dive into that and going to inform you about this. He's talking about speculation bubbles. Finally, I got something that is very helpful because I really want to, even though we can't time the market, I really want to learn about the characteristics of a speculation bubble so that we're always ready for the, to jump off the train. Last but not least, guys, I'm not going to take your time that much. So because we're going to have a live session tonight on Discord where I'm showing you leverage trading. So a lot of you have been asking. I'm going to inform you when exactly it's going to happen, like in 3 or 4 hours. We'll see. But it's going to be recorded. No worries. I'm going to send it. It's going to be available on Mighty Networks as well. So what I'm scared of is, what if we see the top and then it drops? And, maybe what if the whole market, stock market, etc., also corrects, and we think, okay, this is a crash, it's done. But what if, what I think is, you can never time the market. That's true. And people were thinking that there's going to be a second. We talked about that. People think that there, or thought that there is going to be a second lockdown crash in the winter, and they thought it's going to happen in November or December or something, but it never happened. Why? Because people, the whole market was expecting it. Everyone was expecting the second crash, but it didn't happen because it happens unexpectedly. So what if people wait for it, they sell, everyone sells here, all the retails, etc., and then all of a sudden, they think, okay, the crash is coming, it's inevitable. And then all of a sudden we have this super cycle, everything's pumping. In that moment, this is my theory, but I just want to give you all these scenarios that you're just one step ahead. This is just one option. What if people start saying, okay, excuse my language, fuck it, I'm not believing in the crash, I don't give a fuck about the crash, I'm missing out of opportunities. And that's exactly when they want to jump in, and then the crash will come. This is something that might happen though. So we can never time the market. I'm never saying that we need to, find the top. I'm saying we need to make smart decisions, maybe sell a great portion somewhere here, and then later, just hold it. Even if you see it's dropping, what if? The question is, what if? If you don't see, okay, it's not going up again, then you can take profits. But the most important thing is you need your strategy. I made a decision. I said, okay, I'm going to sell some of my VeChain. I put it into a low cap. And as you guys know, these are very risky. And what happened? I lost 60%, but I sold them when VeChain was at 9 cents, but I'm holding it. But now I would have made like over 110% with that money, but I lost even like 60% of that. So bad decision, because I was very greedy. I just jumped on it immediately. I FOMO'd in. Sometimes it happens, but if you have that plan, if it's ready, you're gonna make mistakes 100%. We're human beings, but if you have that strategy, you can take profits and invest in silver, gold. You're always going to be profitable and always going to be one of the winners. There is no, only God can know when this is going to happen, and we're not gods. What we want to do is, sell dollar cost average and sell at great areas. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you all. Tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to do that live leverage trading session where I'm just going to show you how to do that, my techniques, and see you tomorrow tonight.
Perfect. And then it's a perfect segue. I'm going to kick it over to John Rotondo in just a moment. One thing that I want to keep reiterating, as Selman said, just have a plan, guys. Please just have a plan. And the reason why I say that, because our goal is to build generational wealth. Like, this is a long relationship where, when it's, I feel at some point it's going to go down. It's like the .com boom, right? There's going to be a massive boom, and there's going to have to be a pullback. There has to be, guys. It's just how it works, right? So you don't want to get, or you can be a long-term holder. Don't worry. If you want to hold all the way through and ride it and just hold on to your coins, set it and forget it. But I want to take profits so I can set myself up to get ready for 2025. I really believe in 2025, the next bull run is when things are really going to become solid, legit banking systems on it. And so that's one thing that I'm doing. So like I said, my exit strategy is in there. I'm going to start to clean things up in the academy too. Like, for example, I'm going to do a video of me, and I'm going to show you, because when I went to Disney World, this made me think of it, because out of 1,200 people in the academy, there's about 400 people going through the courses, some 100 in some of the areas, right? It's because it's a lot of stuff, right? And so do you really have time to sit there and go through courses? So I'm going to start to build stuff out like I was at Disneyland. Everything's experiential. It holds your attention. So I'm going to do a Zoom call with the MPI, precious metals, Selman, and showing you guys like, okay, here's Coach JB. Here's what I do when this happens. Boom, go to my silver guy. And then he will talk about what we're doing. And then boom, here's what I'm doing with MPI to hedge against the 401k. He'll talk it. So it's visual, it's exciting. And then you have the contact information for all these people. Not financial advice, but I'm just going to show you exactly what I'm doing. And it's from understanding banking and where we're heading. So speaking of the exit strategy, John Rotondo, do you want to take the floor? We had something that's being fixed in the exit strategy.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Appreciate that. And hey, Selman, thanks for sharing your wins and losses. It brings the humanity to it, because I did the same thing. So it's nice to know other people are also making mistakes and learning. Speaking of mistakes, in the spreadsheet, I did find a bug in there, and some of you had brought it to my attention. So thank you. As you're using it, again, there's a lot in there. So if you find issues, please report it to me. Let me know. We'll try to fix it. But there is a bug in one of the areas where it captures the remaining total after you sell all your coins. So right now, I would advise everybody, don't look at that last column. There is a bug in there if you're not using a 50-50 plan. So it's not going to be accurate. What I'm doing is I've made a fix to that already. That's done. And the other thing, a lot of you guys were asking about, hey, I captured my buys, but how do I capture my sells? So I was able to create a whole section on that as well. So now the spreadsheet can capture both your buys and your sells, so you can see the whole picture completely in terms of what you've got. And really, that's really going to help you more from a tax perspective. You're going to be able to see exactly what your gains and losses were. So I'm working on that. I do need maybe a couple people just to do a beta test for it before I send it out and find more bugs. So if there's anybody that wants to give it a shot, Dave is helping me. But if there's anybody else willing to do a beta test for me, just shoot me a private message or an IM in the Mighty Networks. Let me know you're interested. I'll send you the file, and if you can just play with it, and if you find any bugs, let me know, because I don't want to send it out to everybody again until we have it fully vetted. So if you're interested, let me know. I'm ready to send it out today or tomorrow. So just send me it, and I'll email it to you, and you can try it out. And Coach, if you get a moment, you and I'd like to walk you through it too, so we can go through it before I send it out to everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you guys. So what we're going to do too is we're going to use this call for more informative, to bring information to you guys. And if the special guests want to answer questions, and then Selman's going to teach me how to do basically what he's doing tonight. And I'll be going a couple times per week into the Discord and using that as a conversation piece to answer questions, so I can reach out, so I can connect with more people. We are expanding very, very quickly. And one thing that I do want to say, number one, is I'm unbelievably grateful. I mean, I will never stop saying how grateful I am for all of you guys. Number two, we're working to main thing we're focused on is building our customer service team. So if you guys have any issues, you have it's MAE in the customer service department. If you need any help, we're going to start to expand our customer service department. We just want to make sure you feel supported through this journey. I mean, I almost get emotional talking about it, because it's like, the freedom that we've had people coming down to the academy and visiting us, And it's exactly why we designed this. We had a lady that just came in recently and talked about, she was sitting in front of us and she said, I have more money than I've ever had in my life. She's like, my kid, like literally I can see my future. She's meeting with her lawyer to build an estate plan. And I'm like, this is exactly what this is all about. It's about freedom, freeing your dome, right? Breaking free from the system that's been created to keep us in prison. Now, remember, I'll always share this before I let you guys go, is freedom is here. It has nothing to do with monetary. If I lost everything tomorrow, I will still feel exactly the same way. And that's where the wealth and the money and the abundance started to come, is when I created freedom here. It was weird. I was always chasing this monetary thing. And will I drive a nice car? Of course. I mean, I like cars, so I'm going to drive. So it's not the attachment anymore. It's the fact that when I realized I had everything and I worked really hard to bring myself to my higher consciousness, I believe in God, follow the life of Jesus. When I found that and no resistance, all of a sudden the floodgates open, and it's allowed me to make better decisions in my life personally. Like, for example, when I pulled the old me, when I pulled profits, I've been pulling quite a bit of profits from those first three. And the old me would have been like, oh, I got some money in the bank. It's like, boom, right away. Assets. Where do I go? Asset. My whole brain has changed around how I operate. And the weird thing is, I'm never running out of money now. So I want to encourage you, if you're not in the 120-day challenge, has nothing with crypto, but we're going to continue to improve that. I have a really cool idea as we go into the next phase or the next quarter, is to build out the 120-day challenge. And within the challenge, there'll be, okay, stop. Have you built your exit strategy? If not, stop here. Go build your exit strategy. Okay, so stop. Have you built a budget for your finances? Where are you at in your life cycle? Are you just over broke? Are you just surviving? Okay, here's what I would do if I was in that position. Okay, so are you thriving and this is a more risky portfolio? Stop. Do this type of plan, right? And so it's just about creating discipline in our life. And that's what I noticed with some of the people. And I'm really excited because I feel like we're getting to higher level. Lynette Zhang, I don't know if you guys have looked her up. She's on all the big, she's being interviewed everywhere. So he's from Lynette Zhang's team, the ITM, not IMT. And so anyways, I'll let you guys go. I love you guys. This is recorded. I'm going to send this out to you guys. Selman, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Heidi, thank you. I know who else is on the call from the Warrior Academy. Thank you to Kev, my business partner. Thank you to all of you guys. I love you guys very much. And we love feedback too. If there's anything we can improve on, please let us know. Either text me and the customer service team on Mighty Networks, or let me know. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.